living for Redorma for a naturally better sleep.
Okay, welcome back. 1 in 10 Australians are deficient in omega-3. Omega-3 expert and consultant to the World Health Organization is Stuart Tomc. He joins us to explain why omega-3 is so important and how we can get enough of it. Stuart, welcome.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Great topic. Good to be with you.
Yes, we're going to find out the importance of omega-3 versus omega-6, the big fat story it's called.
Yes, and that's really the crux of the issue. We keep telling people, eat fish, take more omega-3. You can't talk about omega-3 without talking about omega-6, because you can't live without these essential fatty acids. They've got to be consumed in our diet as food or supplements, but more importantly, these essential fats are required for nearly every biological process necessary to keep us healthy. Our bodies are made of trillions of cells, we know that, and these EFAs are key structural components of the cell membrane. Now, omega-3 and omega-6 promote fluidity, allow the cells to operate properly. However, they have opposing and complementary forces, meaning omega-3s produce the largely anti-inflammatory hormone-like compounds, where omega-6s produce the largely pro-inflammatory hormone-like compounds. So it's really the balance inside of us, the tissue, John, that's the issue, not our dietary intake.
Okay. Now, in terms of people taking the omega-3s and 6s, can they, for want of a better expression, overdose on those?
Well, it's fascinating because the original discovery with the Inuit in Greenland, they were eating whale blubber and seal and fish fat and whale, all kinds of stuff, and they had the highest intake of omega-3 we've ever seen. 13 grams a day, that's a lot of omega-3, relative to 5 grams of omega-6. They have the lowest rates of heart disease in the world. So many debate this, and that's why I call it the big fat story and the essential debate. But we have seen in the developed Western world where we eat more omega-6 and less omega-3, and this is important, we have different health outcomes. Let's face it, no one lives forever. But if omega-6s produce the pro-inflammatory hormone-like compounds, it's been postulated that the high level of omega-6 in our diet may be leading to thrombosis, eventually death, and be leading to a lot of our preventable, if they are, degenerative health conditions driven by inflammation.
Okay, so what you're suggesting is that you need the both to balance up.
And that's why it is a tricky story, because as you know, for years we've talked about dietary intake, government recommendations, ratio. I'll make it simple. The polyunsaturates that you eat, the PUFA, maintain the HUFA, the highly unsaturated fats in your tissue, which is the issue, that make the anti- or pro-inflammatory hormone-like compounds. So we could all be taking the same amount of omega-3 every day, and because of our genetics and the difference in our intake of omega-6 and our background diet, could all have different levels of omega-3 inside of us. So I'm here touring Australia, as I do the rest of the world, to tell people not to oversimplify. Sure, you're going to get benefit eating more fish and more omega-3, but what I suggest is if we skip the 6 and eat the 3, hold off on the corn oil, soybean, safflower, sunflower, cottonseed oil. It's not toxic by itself.
No.
But omega-6 could be toxic to the degree it exceeds omega-3 in the tissues. That's the issue.
So you're saying really just worry about taking omega-3?
And reducing our omega-6s.
Okay.
And if you think of it like a teeter-totter, like a balance, this is a very important part of the conversation. So let's eat more green leafy vegetables. Let's eat more flax meal. Let's stay away from the quick fix. You know, I turn on the television here and I see you only need 1 capsule of krill oil. That's ridiculous. What you need is a balance between omega-3 to omega-6 in your tissues. So individually, we're all going to be different.
So how do you, well, okay, that's fair enough. How do you, somebody listening to this program tonight in our discussion, how do they know what is a fair balance for them?
The ideal way to do this is to test your omega-3 levels. Look, I can tell you that the research has said if you don't want to do that, you can take 3,500 milligrams of omega-3 EPA and DHA per day. That's a lot of fish oil, more than most people want to take. If you talk to your healthcare practitioner, there are now blood tests, at-home blood tests. And then my mentor, Professor Lands, Lands, put together a free website where you can look up every food you're eating and find out which ones are high in omega-6, thus reducing your need for omega-3, thus you take fewer fish oil pills. And you can find that at fastlearners.org. Fast, F-A-S-T, we're all fast learners. Fastlearners.org. Dr. Bill Lands has his website there where you can look up all the foods. This way you can skip the 6 and eat the 3 to get the benefit omega-3 has to offer.
So that website will let you know all the foods that contain the 6, which is what you want to drop down on.
And it tells you which ones are highest in omega-3.
Oh, that's even better.
Now, this is exciting. Let's say, because, like, nut butter's popular right now. Everyone's eating almond butter and so forth. Okay, almond butter, nature, God, whatever you believe, the universe, but all the omega-6s and seeds, and the omega-3s and greens. So if you're eating almond butter all the time, you may be getting more omega-6s, even if it's organic, even if it's non-GMO, all that good stuff.
Just say that again so we can pick up on that.
Well, the seeds is where the omega-6s are.
Yep.
And the greens are where the omega-3s are. So even if we're not eating corn oil, soybean sap, let's say we don't eat fast food, but we eat a lot of nut butters. We eat a lot of avocados. We eat a lot of walnuts.
Yes.
We're told that that's really healthy stuff, right?
Yes.
And it is. But what if you eat all of that at the expense of seaweed, purslane, and you don't eat a can of anchovies or sardines every day? You could think you're really on the track to prosperous health, and you could miss the boat because you're radically deficient in omega-3. Do you see now why I call this the big fat story?
Yes, I do.
And no one that I know of has the courage, this is not about me or anybody else, to take the risk of telling the whole story, because it's easier to say, take 2 of these and call me in the morning, and I refuse to do that.
Yeah, very interesting. Now, if people want to find out more, Stuart, how would people view, which website would you direct them to, the one you just initially mentioned or your website?
I would say fastlearners.org so you get the foods straight. And I would also say, please talk to your healthcare professional about the omega-3 blood spot test. Those would be really, really ideal things. And, of course, Stuart Tomc, T-O-M-C. I'm always putting things up on Facebook that have nothing to do with the company that I work for, independent, so I can put up research papers, and you can follow the latest omega-3 science. Well,
enjoy Australia. Lovely to talk with you. How long are you here for?
Oh, I'm here for another 7 days, and it's been 12 so far. We're having a blast.